Hello students, and welcome back to the English Danny channel. Today, I've got a new episode of Three-Way English with Dr. Don. But before I get into the story, let me remind viewers to subscribe to our channel if you're enjoying this content. And if you find this video helpful, please like and share it since it helps our channel a lot. Thank you. Okay, let's start the episode. Remember, with Three-Way English, I will tell you a story three different ways. First, in a very basic, simple way, and then twice more with increasing difficulty. The idea is to help you learn English grammar and vocabulary in context. The first time through, I will use simple present tense only. I will use simple sentence structures and speak slowly with no contractions. Today's story is another fable. In English, a fable means a story which is meant to teach a moral lesson. In fables, you sometimes see talking animals who represent different human characteristics or failings. This fable is about the fox and the pheasants. One night, a fox walks through the woods. He sees several pheasants sitting out of his reach on the limb of a tall old tree. He looks around and finds an area of bright moonlight where the pheasants can see him clearly. There, he stands up and dances around. He spins and hops and jumps about. The pheasants stare at him fearfully. They can hardly even blink their eyes because they are afraid to lose sight of him. At one moment, the fox acts like he will climb the tree. At another, he falls over and lies down as if he is dead. And then he gets up and jumps around again with his back in the air. The whole time, the birds' heads are full of fear at the performance. They become dazed as they watch him. After a time, the birds become so afraid that when the fox begins his performance once more, they lose control and fall out of the tree. One by one, they fall down into the paws of Mr. Fox, and he eats them up. Okay, that was the first time through. Now, let's do the story again, but this time we will use different verb tenses and some new vocabulary. I will speak a little faster this time and use a few contractions as well. All right. One night, a fox was walking through the woods when he saw several pheasants sitting just out of his reach on the limb of a tall old tree. He looked around and found an area of bright moonlight where the pheasants could see him clearly. There, he stood up and danced around. He spun and hopped and jumped about while the pheasants stared at him fearfully. They could hardly even blink their eyes for fear of losing sight of him. At one moment, the fox acts like he might climb the tree and get the birds. At another, he falls over and plays dead. And then he jumps back up again and leaps around with his back in the air. The birds watch in amazement, dazzled and afraid. Their heads begin to whirl as they watch him. After a while, the pheasants have become so fearful that when the fox begins his performance all over again, they lose their balance and fall out of the tree. One by one, they fall right into the waiting paws of Mr. Fox, and he eats them up. Okay, so now you know the story. So this third time through, I will use some more advanced vocabulary and a few different sentence structures. I will also speak at something closer to a native level speed. And at the end of the story, I'll tell you what the moral of the story was. So wait around till the end. One moonlit evening, a fox was walking through the woods when he spied a group of pheasants sitting just out of his reach on the limb of a tall old tree. The sly fox soon found a bright patch of moonlight where he knew the pheasants could see him clearly. There, he got up on his hind legs and started dancing around. Spinning and hopping and jumping, he whirled about while the pheasants fearfully gazed on at him. They could hardly blink their eyes for fear of losing sight of him for even an instant. Now, the fox pretends to climb the tree. Now, he falls over and feigns death. Now he's back on his feet again, jumping and leaping with his back in the air. Their heads in a whirl, the pheasants watch him, at once captivated and petrified. But still, they can't stop watching for fear he might snatch them when their backs are turned. So fearful have they become that when the fox begins his show once more, they start to lose their balance on the limb. One by one, they plummet right into the waiting paws of Mr. Fox, who happily gobbles them up. Okay, now the moral of this story is that too much attention to danger may cause us to become victims of it. Maybe you can think of a similar story or example of this lesson from your own life. Share some with us in the comments section below. Don't forget to like and share this video if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel if you want to see more. Stay safe and healthy, and I hope to see you all in the next video.